Hi, and welcome to the SaVeg podcast. I'm Rose, and I'm a content creator going by the handle Cheap Lazy Vegan, and I also own a vegan cafe by the same name as the podcast, which is SaVeg Cafe.
And I'm Daniel, also a vegan and one of your favorite guest stars on Cheap Lazy Vegan's YouTube channel.
We're two friends currently living in different countries, and we'll be giving our savage take on all things life, veganism, and the latest trending topics.
So basically, whatever comes to our minds, because we love to talk.
You are currently listening to the previous episode of this podcast, but if you would like to listen to this week's episode and get some exclusive content, go over to patreon.com/thesavagepodcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the SaVeg podcast. Today, we want to, of course, talk about what's still happening. I think that for a lot of us, this is the only thing on our minds. However, we do want to give you a bit of a positive experience today, because I know for the last couple of episodes, we've been a bit of a negative Nancy, haven't we?
We definitely have, especially if you've checked out our most recent one. I mean, it's quite difficult and challenging, like you said, Rose. There's a lot going on with this whole, coronavirus scare globally. And, we said it last time, this is the first time really in our lives that we're kind of facing this kind of global level pandemic. So it's pretty scary.
For sure. So it's hard for us to, focus on anything else, but we do want to give you some practical tips today, because we want to talk about what you can do if you are in self-quarantine, which we will discuss in a second, what you can do to kind of keep your mind busy or to, keep your spirits lifted up. We have a bunch of ideas for you. Obviously, a lot of these you probably already know, but it's nice to have a bit of a reminder. So we're going to discuss that. Yeah. But first, we do want to give a bit of an update as to what's going on, because a lot has changed since the last episode. Because the recordings are
the
recordations are happening. The last time we recorded, I think it was last week.
Yeah,
wasn't it? So a lot has changed, of course.
Yeah. This is the challenging thing. So we're going to give
you a bit of an update first.
Yeah, this is the challenging thing, because the last podcast that we recorded is on Monday, but it's hard because obviously we record these and we do want to get them out in a timely fashion, but then obviously there's the editing process and everything else, so it does take a bit of time. Mm-hmm. And everything is moving so fast with this virus. It's like I mentioned in the last podcast, in Spain here, it's gone from 0 to 100 overnight. So it's we're trying to stay on top of things as much as probably everyone else, but just be mindful if the content that we're pushing out is a little bit behind what's going on. Just be mindful that we recorded it probably a few days before what's happening now, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we're just another thing to note is we're just two people having a conversation. I want you guys to see it as you're just, we're just kind of sat around the dinner table having a nice conversation, and we're discussing things as we know it. So nothing we say is journalistic. Nothing we say is supposed to be scientific. Yeah. So please keep that in mind. We're just two regular people that are, communicating what we're experiencing at that moment.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And that's a really good way to put it. It's we're just giving you our savage take or our savage look.
It's tough to be savage right now, hey?
I know, this is the thing. I mean, the thing is, everything that's going on, like we said, it's really scary. But this podcast, I think we're focusing on trying to stay positive and some really good things that you can do in this, extra time that you get if you are in quarantine. So I know that not all countries are in the same situation that I am here in Spain. Mm-hmm. So I thought maybe it would be useful for me to kind of explain the situation here a little bit.
Yes. So, I think before we start on the updates, because we both have some major updates, don't we?
True.
Before we get started on the updates of what's going on in our local, why can't I talk? Local climate.
It's all right,
Rose. Okay. Before we explain that, I do want to say that, I think definitely, again, since the last episode, our attitudes have changed quite a bit, because we've found out a lot more. And I think I'm feeling a lot kind of better in a sense, because I feel like I understand a little bit more about, the whole importance of self-quarantine and all of that. Because I think in the last episode, we said that, if you're feeling symptoms, you need to stay home. Now I realize that that's not necessarily, we've realized that that's not necessarily even the case now. At this point, they're advising almost everyone to stay home as much as they can.
Exactly.
So it's a bit crazy because now we've realized that people could be walking around with this virus, but they may not be displaying symptoms just yet. So the best thing to do, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, because this is the best way to really stop this spread. So now that we know this, we have the power of this knowledge. So now we realize that even though you're not feeling symptoms, even though, you know, you might be perfectly fine, and even though you might be young and not in a vulnerable situation, in order to stop the spread of this, we need to be responsible and staying in as much as possible, and also listening to our local government and what they're telling us, and what the the health professionals are
the
telling
health
us.
people. You know, Rose,
People.
you're off to such a great start. I think my favorite moment of this podcast is when you were about to say, well, you know, in the record
the recordations are happening. Okay.
Yeah. And I think you said it really, really well there. Is I think the key takeaway is about responsibility. And I think, especially I look at our kind of age category and stuff, and yes, it would suck to get this coronavirus. It doesn't sound pleasant at all. But again, I'm not scared about necessarily getting the virus. It's that I don't want to pass it on to, you know, loved ones or other people. And, you know, we could have it, but not know for up to, I think they're saying, and they don't actually know either. 5 to, I've seen up to 10 days. So I don't know what the 100% the truth is, but let's just say 5 days. You could have no symptoms. And some people don't even get really sick from this. They just, you know, maybe get a mild cold and that's it. And then yet they think they have a cold and are passing it on to other people. So I think the key thing, as much as this kind of self-isolation, it's not fun. I've been doing it. I'm day 7 now. Like it's, you know, it takes its toll. But I think the key is it's about responsibility, you know?
Yeah. And I think it's good, you know, again, it's a good thing. You know, we have to see it as a good thing because it's at least, you know, that means people are taking, you know, the measures necessary to at least try to stop the spread of this. And I think that before, a lot of people, and myself included, didn't think it was such a big deal because, again, I was thinking like, this is what my mindset was, because I was thinking, okay, so I'm young, I'm healthy, and if I have symptoms, I'll stay in and be responsible. So, you know, that was my mindset. But then now my mindset is, now that I know more of how easily this could spread and how much, you know, we could be potentially, you know, when we go outside, someone else might have it that we don't know, and I might catch it from them, and then we could pass it around to others. And we've seen that it can spread so fast that, you know, every single hour that we're all, you know, trying to do our best to stay in and not be exposed to the virus is potentially more lives saved. So now that we know, I don't want to like, you know, shame anybody, because I think that there's been so much, you know, conflicting information that a lot of people have not even, you know, we're not aware, you know, and now that we are more aware, I want to say that like, I definitely am in the camp of, okay, especially if you're in an area where there is even, you know, some spread, recognize that those numbers could be very not accurate. So
yeah, they could be very much underinflated.
Any sort of contact. Yeah.
No, definitely. This is the thing. They were saying, I mean, and again, these are just estimates, but people are saying, you know, the actual reported cases is such a small percentage of the amount, the real number of people that have it. Because you're right, like in a lot of areas, if people are getting this virus and they think it's just a cold or something, they're probably not going to go to the hospital. They're probably not going to register it, and they could have had the coronavirus and not even known. So
and a lot of them, they're advised not to go to the hospital if they are displaying any symptoms, because there's not enough testing kits in most countries, so they can't test anybody anyway. And plus, if you do have it, you don't want to go to the hospital and expose other people to your virus. So if you're healthy, if you're young, they do advise you to stay in. So again, a lot of people are not reported. So this is why it's important for even people that you think, you know, even if you think you're healthy, to try and just stay in as much as possible. And I know it sucks because some people, they don't have the choice to stay in because maybe their office is telling them that they have to go in, or, you know, they're working at a restaurant and they have to go, or they're, you know, working at the hospital. So, so if you have the privilege, and I'm saying this with the, you know, I'm saying this carefully here. If you have the privilege of staying in, try to see it as a privilege, because some people can't. And I know some people are losing their jobs, and it's a very tough situation right now. So Anyway.
Especially, no, it is.
Yeah.
And especially for those workers that aren't, part of like, a lot of big companies and stuff, they'll say, oh, you can work from home or whatever else. But then there's a lot of other people where they don't have that option. And there's people that don't have savings and stuff like that. And this is going to be a very stressful time for them because, rent's still going to be due at the end of the month. And let's say their job
that's the thing.
Yeah, that's what's kind of like, I don't know. That's
it's not like you can tell landlords to be like, well, you should just not,
charge me.
You should just, because they're also struggling. So
exactly.
it's going to be crazy, but we're going to be positive today, Daniel.
Exactly. Let's put a positive. This is my kind of, I'm usually a very positive person. So let's bring out the positive.
Well, let's talk about the updates. So Daniel, would you like to tell us the kind of situation over there?
Yes, for sure. So basically, as many of you know, I'm currently in Spain working as a teacher. So the schools have closed for the next 2 weeks officially. And they said after these 2 weeks, they're going to give us a kind of update as to what's going to happen. Speculation is the schools aren't going to reopen after the 2 weeks. They're going to be closed for another 2 to 3 weeks. Who knows, for maybe another month. And my contract, I'm getting paid for this month. They've already confirmed that and everything else. However, we did get an email today from the government just being like, hey, we understand this is a very stressful situation. I'm sure there's a lot of you that might want to consider going back home basically to your home countries because there's a ton of us that are over here doing this. And they said, obviously we'll respect your decision. There won't be any like kind of repercussions because we're all on contracts and things like that. You could and then they put at the bottom of the email, we're not telling you that you have to go, like you can still stay and finish the program, but there's so much uncertainty as to what's going to happen over the next kind of two months because technically I'm done my contract at the end of May, so May 29th was my last teaching day, but with what's going on, and there's 2 weeks off in April for April holidays anyway, so it's kind of like what am I going to be doing? So that's kind of the update over in Spain. And at the moment we're on I think it's officially day 5, but I've kind of this is day 7 for me, where the country's been on lockdown, which basically means all the restaurants, all the cafes, everything is closed except for the grocery stores and places to get gas. So gas stations, blah, 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 is closed. And really they're just saying, they're not saying now you have to be in your house unless the only reason you can be out is to go get groceries. Like I went and picked up some stuff today, for example. You're allowed to do that. However, if you're just going for a walk or something or just randomly like out, the police will stop you. You can get fined now. So they're taking it very seriously. And they're saying like you only allowed to be out for essential things, basically. Otherwise, stay in your house. So. Yeah.
Okay. So basically, the development is that in the last episode, you were saying that you can still go outside. Yeah. It's just, but now because this is why it's also really important to kind of listen to what the government is saying. I know it's hard. I know we want to rebel against the government and we don't necessarily trust the government 100%, but this could be what's going to happen. Like for those of us in North America, especially, a lot of us are rebelling and we're saying, we're healthy, we're fine. But that's exactly how, it spread very quickly in Italy and Spain. Yeah. So it could happen very quickly that the government says, you know what, this is out of control. We need to actually have mandatory lockdowns. So if you don't want that to happen, we all have to take collective responsibility, individual responsibility to try and listen when they're telling us to do something. And I know it's difficult. It's not easy. But anyway, so Daniel, let's talk about what your plan is then.
I don't know. This is the thing. Right. It's like, because basically, me and Rose were kind of texting about this earlier and we were going to have a discussion about like whether or not I should book a flight back to Canada if I can even. This is the thing. If I can even, come back. I think it'll be okay because I'm a Canadian citizen, but
you will be okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. But like, it's just a matter of should I do it? Do you know what I mean? Like I think personally what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until the end of these 2 weeks and see if there's any update as to further what's going on with the schools.
Right.
If the schools are closed still for more time, I think there's not really any point me being here. Do you know what I mean? The whole point of me being here is to teach in the schools, experience living in Spain. And if I'm just going to be locked down, I might as well be locked down in Canada. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm going to, I think that I went back and forth on this, and I think my decision is that after the 2 weeks, these 2 weeks, I'm gonna make a call. And if the government's still, this is still, schools are still closed, then I'm probably gonna leave, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's a good decision for the time being. Just wait until what happens, because obviously we've noticed that literally every day something's changed.
Exactly.
So we don't know what's going to happen. I do feel like I have a feeling it's going to get worse before it gets better. So yeah, I think it's a good idea to wait, see what's going on, and then at the end of the 2 weeks, or maybe you'll find out before then.
That's what I'm thinking.
What your decision
hopefully this
is.
week or maybe mid next week. Yeah.
Every day you're going to find out more information, and then you can make a decision at that time.
Yeah.
And I was just telling Daniel, like, you know what, like, it does suck. Like, this whole thing is shitty for a lot of people, but at the end of the day, like, we are in a good position in that, so far, like, knock on wood, our family is okay. You have some savings, you have a place to stay when you come back. It's going to be okay. So let's just try to keep our chin up, basically.
No, exactly. Focus on the bright side.
Yeah. Oh God.
But goddamn.
Yeah. So that's the update from Daniel. Spain in mandatory lockdown at this point. Spanish government, and now the numbers in Spain have been growing more and more.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
Why they did put it. Yeah. So what is the current? I don't think we should talk about numbers because it does change a bit very quickly. But you can discuss the numbers.
But we can just contrast. We can contrast versus
so
the last.
Today
I think when we
is
were
Wednesday, March 18th. This is the day of recording.
Yeah, the day of the recordation.
But numbers change every single day. The day of the recordation.
Hang on, I'm
but
just looking it up right now. But the
numbers be changing every day.
God,
so we need to be. Yeah, it just keeps growing. Hey. Mm-hmm. But again, it could mean that we're testing more. It could mean that. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's it's horrific. It just means that we might be testing more. That could be it. But anyway. Tell me the numbers.
So Spain now has, according to this website, the one that we've been using from the beginning, is 13,910 cases. And I think last time we talked about it, it was like 8,000.
Yeah, it was less than 10,000.
Yeah.
And what are the death rates?
Death rate is 623 people.
Oh, God.
But Italy's insane. Italy has like 36,000 cases now and almost 3,000 deaths.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy.
I think it's also the Italy. It's so okay. It's with Italy. I've also heard. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not positive, but I've heard that because the hospitals are so, just so packed and they cannot handle this at the moment.
Yeah.
I've heard that they've started not giving care. They've made the difficult decision to not give care to those over 80.
Yeah.
Have you heard this?
I haven't heard this, but that sounds really sad.
I know because I don't know if there's a right or wrong decision at this moment because of course that's just, again, I don't know if it's true, but that is what I've heard. But either way, they are overwhelmed. That's what I know.
And that's why they talked about, we kind of talked about this yesterday when we had a Skype drinking date.
Oh yes, which we'll talk about later.
But we mentioned about the whole idea of like flattening the curve. So like when these kind of pandemics happen, it's not so much that the governments are trying to prevent it from happening at all because people are going to get sick and stuff. It's about trying to manage it in such a way that it doesn't overwhelm the hospitals like it is now.
Yes.
So it's kind of like try to reduce the case numbers any way possible with self-isolation and everything else to prevent that like huge spike in numbers of people needing care, because then more people are going to die than probably not necessary, but what am I trying to say? People will die unnecessarily. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Because there won't be enough equipment. That's why they'll die, not because they had a really bad case of the coronavirus. So
yes, and also it could be that we were talking about this yesterday as well. It could be that if the hospitals are overwhelmed with coronavirus, there's people that have other issues that may not be able to get proper care. So that's another thing to take into consideration, because if we are not careful, again, lots of people that are going to end up in hospitals, and then other people that have other issues may not be able to get the proper care. So that's another problem that could happen. So this is why I think we've realized that it's really important to really do what we can in our power.
Definitely.
Oh, should we give my update?
Yeah, let's hear your update, Rose. Tell us what's been going on in the
life
world of
update
cheap,
time.
lazy vegan.
Fun life update. Trying to be positive. So over the weekend, let's see what happened. Essentially, the local government gave a statement saying that we are now in a state of emergency, whatever that means. And they've shut down, I believe this was on Sunday. They shut down all schools as well.
I heard
so
about
we've
this.
shut down kindergarten to grade 12, I believe, and probably university too, but I'm not sure. We also shut down rec centers, any government run rec centers, libraries, things like that. And I think I read in the news earlier today that they actually have told people that we should stop going to like private gyms as well. So just a lot of shutdowns. And then we've also been obviously told to, try to stay home if we can, work from home if we can. And then our prime minister made an announcement on Monday saying that he's closing all borders from non-residents outside of the country other than US. But then today he made another statement. See, this is why things are changing every single second. He made another statement today that he's also banning non-essential travel from the US. So anything that's not essential, he's banning travel from non-residents. Okay. So lots have changed. And so because of the Trudeau announcement on Monday, if you guys don't know, I have a vegan cafe and it's located inside a fitness center, a private fitness center. And they made the decision on Monday after the Trudeau announcement that we're going to shut down until at least Sunday. So for a week. And then revisit the situation on Sunday, but it seems that we're going to shut down for a longer period. So because the fitness center is shut down, our cafe also has to shut down, even though some cafes and restaurants are still open. But I think, at this point, because so many people are advised to stay home, I think a lot of restaurants are also going to either close for a while or something. So unfortunately, we did have to also close our cafe, which, I mean, it is sad, and I was actually very emotional at that time when I was writing up the statement. Not for me, but just the idea. I think it's just the whole vibe and the gloominess and the fact that I had to tell my employees that we had to shut. So they'll be, not working. It's a really tough situation. So unfortunately, we did have to shut down, but we're gonna really we're just gonna have to do it. It's necessary at this point.
Unfortunately, it's well, we all have to do our we all have to do our part and be responsible, and unfortunately, that's a part of it. If we want to kind of, and I heard that the sooner we do this kind of stuff, the better it is for the long term. Because if we let it go on for too long and then do this, we'll have to do it for so much longer. So the fact that countries are doing it now, I mean, it's still a little bit too late already for some countries. Not too late, but they're approaching it a little late. It's like the sooner they do it, the better the results and the faster we'll get the results. So I think, being responsible and doing that, then hopefully it will turn out for the best very soon. And I was thinking about this actually, that actually North America, we have a bit of an advantage. Like the countries right now that are a little bit less in terms of the cases and, all of that, we actually have the advantage of knowledge because we've seen what's happened. So we've seen, what's happened in China. We've seen what's happened in, Italy and Spain, and we've seen these things happening. So we actually have the advantage of, detecting it early because Italians are now warning us. They're warning the outside people. They're like, yo, this is serious. Like, we need to take this seriously. So now, if we don't take it seriously, we would be, quite foolish because we had the knowledge. We had, and they've shown like trajectories of what happened in Italy and how like one day they had like 50 cases and then like 2 days later it just like blew up and it just went crazy very quickly. So, I think that even countries where, or even, cities or provinces or states that haven't seen many cases, I wouldn't be so nonchalant, basically. Yeah. Well, the USA is it's quickly growing in numbers. So, they're already almost as much as France now. They have 7,000 something cases in the US. Really? So, it's just a matter of time. And wow. So it's crazy. Yeah. Anyways. On a positive note. Basically I'm staying home as well, as much as I can.
I haven't gone outside yesterday. I think we are still technically allowed to go outside.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to, we'll talk about this a little bit, but yeah, I've been staying in. I stayed in yesterday. And so I'm trying to not have any contact with people as much as possible. But we will talk about some things now that we have kind of given the updates.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about some positive things. So things we have jotted down, some ideas on what you can do if you are in isolation mode or trying not to go out, because I know that can be very difficult. We've talked about this. It could be a mental health issue. So I think it's important for us to, keep reminding ourselves, even though these seem obvious, keep reminding ourselves of what we could be doing to, feel good, even if we are isolated. So I have a list.
I know. I'm
list,
very
Daniel?
impressed, Rose. You sent me this. I think it's very good. It's very comprehensive. I think we can discuss all of these points and see if we have any. I mean, I don't think I have any to add. I mean, Rose really went to town on this list. So
I just thought about it this morning and I just wrote down a bunch of stuff.
I'm very impressed. Shall we just discuss them point by point and then go from there?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
You want to go with point 1, Daniel?
Sure. So the number one point from Rose's extensive list of things, we'll call this things to do when in isolation, or not isolation, but like self-isolation.
What do you call it? Yeah, we'll call it quarantine tips on what to do in quarantine.
What to do in a quarantine. So number 1, keep in touch. Oops, my phone just turned off. There we go. That's not good. Okay. Keep in touch with your loved ones. Skype or FaceTime calls are really great. Take advantage of the technology that we have right now, and just really try to keep that human contact with people that you're not seeing on a regular basis anymore.
Yes. So we were discussing this yesterday when we were having our 3-way Skype call. See, that's what we did yesterday. We chatted for 2 hours with wine and beer, and I had vodka soda, and it was really fun. And
it was.
It gives the kind of feeling that you're actually, out with your friends or your family. So if, especially if you aren't living with anybody, this is very important. We are social. We are very social creatures. We cannot survive independently. So take advantage of the fact that we are living in a time where, we have the privilege of technology, because we were talking about Shakespeare yesterday. And I was listening to Jenna Marbles and Julian's podcast as well, and they're YouTubers, by the way, if you don't know. And they were talking about how Shakespeare was in quarantine at some point, and he wrote a play while he was in quarantine because Shakespeare does not have a phone. He did not have YouTube. He did not have WhatsApp. He didn't have any of these things. So imagine being in quarantine in that situation.
With none of this. Exactly.
None of
so
this.
We have to look at this as like a very, like in the terms of technology, it's amazing. Like I'm texting everyone still. I'm staying in touch. And like, I don't know about you, but yesterday it was kind of cool because I've never done a 3-way Skype call either. And it felt like afterwards, it actually felt like we had just gone out for like wine somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, we'd all gone out. I did get a little bit tipsy. I'm not going to lie.
I was kind of useless afterwards.
Yeah,
you did. It was giant. I tried to take a nap because I could not work. I had 3 of those, like I had cans of like vodka soda, had 3 of them, and I couldn't work. I was pretty useless after, but it was a fun time. It sucks because what do you call it? At nighttime, your nighttime is like my kind of mid afternoon.
Yeah.
So I always have to get day drunk every time I drink with you.
That's true. Well, you know what?
If we're doing this,
I'll make a promise to you, Rose. When I move back to Calgary and we're recording episodes of the podcast in Calgary, we'll do an episode where we're drinking, but it will be at an appropriate time for you. So it'll be like in the evening, so you don't have to feel like.
Wrong. I do enjoy a little day drinking, so it's fine.
Yeah. But I think that's a really, really good point. Yeah. So number 1, definitely keep contact. Okay.
Even through texting. If you don't want to do a full on Skype call, you could text. You could send them voice notes. I really enjoy those.
Oh, I love voice notes.
Yes.
They're my new favorite thing.
I know, right? It's so convenient.
Yeah. Because sometimes you like have an idea and you're like, I want to text it, but the texting will just take way too long. So you know what? Screw this. I'm going to send a voice note. So
yeah, exactly. All right. So good. Second thing is to.
Oh, do you want to read it? Yeah, it's your list.
Well,
so.
you don't have to read it point by point. I mean, you don't have to read it word by word, Daniel. You got to improvise a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah.
So number 2 is keep a to-do list. So this is something, again, you don't have to do any of these. These are just little tips. So if you feel like being a potato, be a potato. But I think for me, to help me feel sane, I like having at least a small to-do list, even if it means, a tiny little thing, like picking up the mail or, meditating 10 minutes, which we'll talk about later. It really helps when I go about my day to have a to-do list and check these little things off through the day. It makes me feel motivated. It makes me feel a little bit more, like I'm, contributing to society and not being a potato. What do you think, Dan? What do you think of my to-do list idea?
See, I actually like it. I don't do to-do lists usually. I used to do them when I was at work in the office. I haven't done them since I've been in Spain, but actually during this time, it's a really good idea because I think some days I still get some stuff done on these days. I've been pretty good, but like I do lose a bit of focus and stuff. And I think if I had a list just to like maybe before I go to bed or the first thing in the morning, write a list of all the things that I want to get done that day. It could really help me stay on track. And also if I do get bored, it's something I can revert back to and say, oh, actually, okay, there's a few more things I need to get done today. So I think that's actually a really good point.
Yeah, you could jot down whatever we're talking about right now just to like remind yourself of, anytime you feel kind of like unmotivated or you're like, feel like you're in a rut because you're just home all day, just remind yourself, oh, okay, I could do this now. Maybe I'll go and give my mom a call or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's a really good point. I'm going to start doing that starting tomorrow. I'm going to write a list in the mornings.
Oh, okay,
that's gonna be my thing when I get up.
All right. So number 3, Daniel, would you like to do the honors?
Yes. So number 3 is basically get caught up on housework or kind of spring cleaning. What is spring?
It is spring.
So like do some chores or some stuff that you've been maybe putting off for a while. Maybe your oven needs a clean and you haven't done it for a while and you're like, actually, let's get this done. I'm here. I might as well. I think this is a really good point, especially like when you're constantly working and really, really busy, you can fall behind really easily on housework. And I think this is just the perfect opportunity. If you're home all day, I mean, you could get ahead of with housework instead of behind.
I know, right? It's like we're always behind on things like chores that we often put it off, especially if you're very busy. That's definitely me. And, this is a great chance to just kind of declutter, clean, do the laundry, all that good stuff. And it can be very satisfying. Even just one little clean can be very satisfying.
You can organize that. I don't know if you're a family or you have this, but like one thing I always had growing up is my parents always had what we call a messy drawer. And it was like one drawer in the kitchen. Who does not have one? Yeah. And it was just like where all the random shit would go. Like there's just, and this is the opportunity to organize that messy drawer. So go for it.
Yeah, go for it, guys. Just go and declutter, throw out things if you need to. And just, even if it means just, folding up laundry, like even just little things can be very satisfying and can make you feel a lot better. Because you're going to be home. You might as well create an environment that's kind of nice. Yeah. And, fun to be around.
Exactly. Another thing you could do with regards to decluttering and everything else, I'm not sure if it's on the list. So if it is, I apologize. But like while you're, organizing, cleaning, all this kind of stuff, maybe go through your clothes and, maybe there's some stuff that you could donate to charity or, things that like you don't wear anymore. You're like, actually, let's really declutter and really focus on getting this space where I want it in these next 2 weeks or however long this quarantine lockdown self-isolation goes on for, so.
Oh God. Yeah.
That's a really, really good point. I like that one. Definitely.
Yes. Next is have fun in the kitchen. So this is, your chance to be a little bit creative with what you might already have. Yeah. Since a lot of us, we're trying to go to the grocery store less and less, if even, and maybe the grocery stores are empty. I don't know. So have fun with your pantry, have fun with your freezer, maybe get rid of some things in your pantry that have been sitting there for months. Maybe this is the time to slow cook some things because often I like to whip up dishes in 10 minutes, but sometimes it's really nice to take like an hour, 2 hours just to cook something. It's a bit therapeutic.
Exactly. Just being in the kitchen, chopping that veg, grilling stuff, it's just like, I hear you on that one. Sometimes it's nice because generally in our everyday lives, well, I don't know about you, but like I find I have very little time, like maybe not so much in Spain, but when I was working and stuff in London is like, my whole thing of cooking most of the time, once in a while on the weekends, if I had extra time, I'd want to make something nice. But most of the time it was like something I could cook really, really fast, on the go, meal prep really quick, get it done, and then, you know, go to bed or do whatever I had planned that day, you know? So this you're right. This is such a good opportunity to kind of play around in the kitchen, get excited, experiment.
Yeah. Experiment. Exactly. So
try some new flavors, try some new things, you know?
So speaking of experimenting and being, you know, having fun, number 5 is take your creativity to the next level.
Ooh.
So indulging in creative activities could be something that you could do.
So like when you say creative activities like painting or like drawing,
right?
or what about
writing?
Oh, writing,
you know?
creative writing. What about also, would this be in this category as well? Like, for example, if some people are like learning a new language or studying, or that's something that they could be doing as well as with their creative.
Of course. Actually, I have that in a separate category, but it's pretty much, you know, it's a similar concept.
Gosh, okay.
So yes, definitely the learning something new, which is point 10 actually. We'll talk about that. But I mean, same thing, you know, creativity in your own way. It doesn't have to be an art project, but it could be, learning a new thing or taking up a hobby, which I think is a separate thing as well. But just, you know, doing a project that kind of sparks a certain level of creativity, maybe. That's what I was thinking.
I think that could be really useful for people with kids as well, because I know there's lots of like online like crafts and activities that you could be doing. So those of you that are, you know, in self-isolation with your children,
oh Lord,
then this could be something that you could do with them just to kind of like take up some of the time. Because I know that just from working with children here in Spain, that they are very demanding and they are very tiring.
Energetic.
So yes, and very energetic. So
very
I can
energetic.
only imagine
we cannot keep up.
No, this is not in our old age.
All right. You want to read number 6?
Yes. So number 6. Okay. So this is talking about, and you might have to go into a little bit. Oh, I guess you kind of went into some points, but it's basically talking about starting a quote side hustle. So some kind of like extra business, or if you had like, maybe you had a business idea or an entrepreneurial idea that you just haven't had the time to explore or look into. It's like now you have the time off work. So it could be, you know, maybe starting a YouTube channel. It could be, you know, starting a podcast. It could be maybe you wanted to start, I don't know, some kind of arts and crafts project that you wanted to sell at a crafts fair, or I don't know, online business, tons of stuff. Maybe you want to write that business plan you've been thinking of for years. You have time for that now.
Exactly. So this is a potential opportunity for some people. I know a lot of people that, you know, maybe want to start a YouTube channel or want to start a blog, but they never have the time because they're busy in their, you know, in their working lives and their social lives. And I know that a lot of people are still working and a lot of people are still able to work from home, which is fantastic. But now you have some extra time in the evening because you're not going out to dinners, you're not going out to, you know, see your friends as much. So this is a great opportunity that you could potentially take advantage of if you are somebody that falls into this category.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's a great time.
Very good advice.
Yeah, so you can not only consume content, but you can also create content. So yeah.
I like it. Well, I mean, and technically we're kind of like, we're following quite a few of these steps, Rose, because that's one of the things we're doing with this podcast. We're recording extra episodes and giving you extra juicy content coming your way.
Extra depressing content coming your way. Just kidding.
No, not in this podcast. Not in this one.
Not in this one. We're being positive, half positive.
Exactly.
All right. Number 7.
So number 7, one of Rose's favorite things to do. Do you want to tell us, Rose?
It is do an at-home spa, the full-on treatment, grooming session. You know, maybe you want to do that 10-step skincare routine. You want to do a face mask. Maybe you want to do a hair mask. You want to sit in the bath, you know, bubble bath with a glass of wine or a book. If you want to just, you know, just do the full-on treatment. You know, maybe you have some kind of home spa equipment that you haven't used for months. This
like
is
a foot
the opportunity.
massager or something, or like you know, like those hot stones that you can like put on your body if you have, because like I know some people have those like weird hot stone things that they probably never use. So yeah,
this is the opportunity.
The reason I said that it's Rose's favorite thing, I have to say that I do have to comment on this. Is
wait, what's my favorite thing?
It's doing an at-home spa, and the reason is because I remember when we used to live together, you used to do those Korean face masks. Yeah, I used to do those. Do you remember those Korean face masks? Yeah, and they look.
Daniel, would you like to see?
Oh
I just
no!
got a shipment. For those of you not watching the video, I am holding like a giant stack of Korean face masks.
Oh my god!
I ordered these at the perfect time.
Yeah, you definitely did. So you could do one every day, Rose.
I could, but that would be quite expensive.
Your skin's gonna be flawless.
It's gonna be so good, no one's gonna see it, but it's gonna be so nice.
Yeah. And like the thing with these Korean face masks, if you guys haven't seen them before, when someone's wearing them, it does look a little bit like Hannibal Lecter from like Silence of the Lambs or something. Like they're really scary because they're like
it puts the lotion on its skin or it gets the hose again.
Oh god. Oh, but they are really good. Didn't we use one at one time? It was like a tomato one or something.
I'm sure we did. I'm sure I made you put one on, and I'm pretty sure we watched Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I think we definitely did. Oh gosh.
Speaking of Breaking Bad, actually that's number 9, but would you like to read number 8?
Number 8, yes. So number 8 is talking about reading that book that you've been putting off reading lately, or let's say there's that really, exciting book that you've been meaning to read and you just haven't found the time. Well, guess what? Mm-hmm. Now you have the time. So open that book up.
I wrote down that, yes, open that book up now. And I wrote that my other tip with reading is you could turn on some, nice, chill, cafe, jazzy music, sit down with a cup of coffee sit down with a book. And you'll feel like maybe a little bit like you're in a cafe.
Ooh, I like that a lot, Rose. I like the whole idea of like, get the coffee going, a nice cup of coffee, get that certain ambiance, that je ne sais quoi with that chilled ambient music, and just read it and dive into a book. Get in your comfy chair and drift away.
Mm-hmm. And drift into a book, into a nice story. Now, this is something I definitely want to start doing because I have always said that I am an aspiring reader. I aspire to be a reader. I've always struggled with it. I've always struggled with making time to read, and I really, really want to try this time to actually read, even if it's just a little bit.
Yeah, I think I echo that statement with you because I consider myself also an aspiring reader because I used to love, when I was younger, I used to love reading. And then for whatever reason, I like kind of got out of it. Like I still read sometimes, but it's just like very few and far between. And I don't really get stuck into many novels, or if I do, I'll read them for a short time and then I stop, So I just feel like that's a habit that I need to like try to get back into. And, now I have the time. And the only issue is a lot of the books here are in Spanish.
What I was going to say was, if you guys have any suggestions, if you're watching on YouTube or somewhere where you can comment, maybe on Patreon even, if you have any suggestions for nice books, leave them down below. Maybe some, nice novels, some of your favorite books, let me know. Which brings us to the next point, which is consume content to your liking, but be mindful of how you're feeling when you're consuming the content. So what I mean by this is, of course, again, we are in the age of content. We have so much content that we could not get through. We cannot get through even the 10% of it if we wanted to in our lifetime. So we have Netflix, we have YouTube, we have podcasts, we have even Instagram, Amazon Prime, we have Crave, we have all kinds of different things that we could utilize to our advantage, but also be mindful of what you're consuming because it can be sometimes a negative experience for a lot of people. Maybe you're spending too much time on social media and it's not giving you, the right vibes, if you will. But if you consume it in a way that's positive for you, it could be good. So again, if you have any shows or, any podcast recommendations, anything like that, leave them below. But Daniel, would you like to give us some examples of some shows you've been enjoying?
Yeah. Well, I've been, I mean, some of the shows have been a bit cheesy that I've been watching lately, but one of the shows I watched on Netflix, this one's a bit dark. So I would suggest only watching a few episodes. Don't get too into it because some of them were a bit intense and I found myself going to a bit of a dark place. So that was The Trial of Gabriel Fernandez. So that's very intense watch. So just be mindful of that before you watch it.
It's a bit dark, isn't it?
Yeah, it's dark. And then I've also been watching I Am a Killer, which is also very, very dark.
Which I recommended. Why did I recommend it to you, Daniel?
I don't know, Rose, because I've been watching. It's good. It's a good series. Like, it's interesting, but it's like, it's very, like, these people have had very intense lives and it's like really full on. So then I started watching this. Actually, I finished now. This Spanish series called Toy Boy. And basically it's about these like five exotic male dancers in Spain and their lives, basically. And the guys are like super, super hot. Like that's the main reason for watching it, to be honest. I mean, it wasn't that great of a story, but you know, there's some nice eye candy. So that was good. And what else have I watched? I think and I also watched, it's kind of like a quirky kind of like teen one called I'm Not Okay With This. And it's about this girl that gets like, she's getting like superpowers or something's happening to her. And it's kind of interesting. It was a good little like kind of mindless watch.
Good. I like your recommendations. Anything else?
And one thing I'd always recommend watching because it's just comic gold and I freaking love it is RuPaul's Drag Race. So if you haven't watched...
Is there a new season?
No. Well, there is a new season, but it's not on Netflix yet. But there's 11 seasons on Netflix. So...
Oh, wow.
Knock your heart out.
That is a good marathon.
Yeah.
It's definitely like a kind of a feel-good show, you know?
Exactly. If you haven't seen it before, definitely get stuck in. Start watching it. You will fall in love, and it is so funny. So
yeah, and if you watch something that's kind of dark, you could also watch an episode of RuPaul's Drag Race to kind of balance it out, like Daniel does.
That's exactly what I do. It's like a RuPaul's Drag Race, and then something really, really dark and sinister.
And then I'm a killer.
And then I'm a killer. God damn.
Oh God. Well, I also let me think of another idea that I read is you could make an effort to maybe watch all of the nominees of the Oscars. So maybe because there was 6 nominees for Best Picture. You could watch all of those if that's something that you can do. But another show that I watched actually on Amazon Prime. Do you have Amazon Prime?
I don't know. I just have Netflix.
Okay, so for those of you that have Amazon Prime Video, you could watch, there's a show called Modern Love. It's kind of nice and cute. Every single episode is a little bit different. It is completely different story. And it's based on stories from some kind of New York City column. And it's called Modern Love. So they take like real life stories and kind of turn them into, a show. And it's just kind of nice and feel good. And
that's
it's
so
not,
cute.
It's not like life changing, but it's cute and it's good to watch. Especially in a time like this, if we need something a little bit cute and
a little pick me up.
Yes, exactly. Let me know, guys, if you have any recommendations of shows or podcasts or any sort of content that you would recommend binging at this time. Leave them in the comments.
Definitely.
All right, Daniel, would you like to read number 10? Number
10. So we kind of touched on this before, but again, learning something new. So taking advantage of this time to, if you're learning a language or you're having an online course that you're doing, or there's something that you want to learn, like maybe, sign language or something, anything really, you have the time to do it. So really take advantage of this time of self-isolation to, see what's out there online, see what other skills you can acquire during this time.
You could also, improve on a hobby. Like if you wanted to brush up on your piano or your guitar. Oh my God, I'm so sad because my guitar, one of my strings broke. So I have to get it fixed. But I do have a ukulele that I could practice on. So,
there you go.
Yeah, you could do that, practice, practice an instrument, learn a language, which is amazing. There's apps for that as well. And also, one thing you could do is like schedule this in. So again, you feel like you're kind of, being productive. So if it's something that, you feel like you're not going to do unless you schedule it in, you could schedule it into your day so that, you do it maybe an hour a day.
Write it on your list of to-dos. Your list of to-dos in the morning when you get up, you schedule an hour in. So be extra productive.
All right. So number 11 is something Daniel's been doing pretty good at, right?
Yeah.
It's exercise.
So, exactly. Number 11 is exercise. So one of the hardest things, at least for me, when I started doing this like self-isolation, well, mandatory now, is because I go to the gym quite a lot, like 4 times a week. And also since I've been in Spain, I've been walking everywhere. So I was like stressed that I wasn't going to be able to, I'm just gonna be sitting in the house all day, not really doing anything. But luckily we have like a roof terrace. So we just go up there, me and my roommate, and we've been doing some exercises up there. And then also, while I'm sitting like in my room or even in the living room, I'll often get up and just do a couple stretches and stuff just to kind of like make sure I'm not getting too stiff. So I think those are really, really good things. And actually just getting up on the roof and doing those exercises after doing them, I felt so good. Like I just felt really like, oh, I felt so much better, you know? So I think it's so good to do it.
Yeah. Just moving your body, hey?
Exactly. It helps your mental state as well, right? Because it releases those endorphins. So I think it's really, really important.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of home workouts you could be doing. There's lots on, YouTube and just free workouts that you could find. Even just walking around your home, even stretching, all of that can make a big difference. And if you're still able to go outside, but not necessarily, you want to avoid large crowds essentially.
Yeah.
If you're still able to go outside though, you can take a walk to the park. Obviously making sure that you're being careful, washing your hands and all of those things when you do go outside. But that can make a big difference into your day as well. So I do plan on today looks really cold, but I do plan on hopefully taking a little walk, even just to the park, and just kind of being outside a little bit.
No, definitely. I think it's so important. That's one thing. I think that's one of the hardest things though, because I'm used to walking so much every day. So I think just by doing the exercise, it makes me feel good. Like just it's like some form of doing something,
Yeah.
So I think it's really, really important.
And what's number 12? I think this might be your favorite one, Daniel.
It probably is. Let me see. Oh, it definitely. Oh, goddamn. You know me too well.
I do. So I had to add this in there.
Number 12 is sleep in.
Sleep in.
Because, and actually, this is probably one of my favorite activities, or non-activity if you have it. So basically, the funny thing with sleeping in is, I know that I say it's my favorite activity. Like, I don't actually sleep in that late. What happens is I'll get up at like a decent time, but then I'll just stay in bed. So like I'll lay in bed for a while and just like really take my time to get up and have my coffee in the morning and things like that. And I just love that process, so that process or that like just
Daniel
being able to do that.
It. He loves it. So I know this isn't something, it's not necessarily like productive, but I did think about this and I think, for me, this is something I don't do. I don't allow myself to do it when I'm, in normal mode, but because I'm so busy and I have so much, I always complain that I don't have enough time in a day, but now this is my chance to let my body just sleep. It's nice, it's something that I have definitely, this is the one thing I've been really enjoying, just not even setting an alarm and just letting my body wake up. So it's something that, again, we don't allow ourselves to do always. And I'm not saying this is something we want to keep doing forever, but this could be a blessing in disguise. And we can take this opportunity to just let ourselves sleep and kind of not feel guilty about it at the same time.
Yeah. No, definitely.
And
that's good.
This next one, I'll talk about it because I don't think Daniel can resonate too much with it.
No, this is definitely a rose point.
So this is, again, another suggestion. And it's something that I'm definitely going to restart because it's something I fell off of the wagon. And it is practicing meditation. So I talk about this a lot. And there's a lot of science behind how meditation can help so many different issues, especially mental health. So we've touched on it before that mental health is something we need to take into consideration, especially in this self-isolation period. It can be very difficult. I mean, you and I were pretty good, I think, in terms of our mental health, but there are a lot of people that are, that have anxiety, that have depression, that have a lot of, even severe or also not so severe mental health issues that can be worsened by self-isolation and not being able to communicate. Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm going to be completely honest, like as someone that, I'm not the most anxious person, or I get stressed a bit sometimes, but I'm overall quite like balanced, I would say. And actually this whole situation, has actually heightened my levels of stress. And for the first time, I've felt quite anxious lately. So I think this is something just to be mindful of, those people that are anxious already as individuals, to be in situations like this. It is a bit extra stressful and it is anxious because you don't know what's happening. And to kind of take that point, to be able to take a step back and, try doing the meditation maybe to help kind of calm that down a little bit. You know?
And there's, again, there's lots of, there's apps where you can meditate for free. There's also, tons of meditation guides on YouTube. You can just do a 10-minute, just search up, if you're not used to meditation, just search up on YouTube, 10-minute guided meditation. You'll find so many videos and just yeah, it's a good idea. I'm going to start doing it today. And it's just good for your mental health overall. Even if you don't have any issues, any problems, and you think you're a very healthy person, it's one of those things that I think it's like exercising for your mind. So it's good to keep that in mind. So this could be something you could add into your to-do list in the morning.
Definitely add a little slot in your many to-dos that you're going to be adding in there.
Yes. And then number 14, would you like to read that, Daniel?
Yeah. So number 14 is take it slow. So really just that, I think that's really just about enjoying your day. And, you know, you don't have any specific, you might have a list of to-dos, but you don't necessarily have specific deadlines as exactly times to get things done. So take your time, go to the kitchen, have a nice relaxing, you know, cooking session, make something new and exciting, then go maybe watch a series on Netflix after you've had a sleep in, you've laid in bed all, like not all day, but like for a little while, and like just kind of take your time and enjoy this almost it's not a break per se, but enjoy this kind of like time where it's like we don't have 101 things going on and we can actually take this time to just, you know, for ourselves a little bit, you know?
Yeah, like obviously it's not the ideal situation and we're not necessarily choosing to self-isolate, but also maybe take this as an opportunity that, you know, maybe this is the time that we can relax. We're so stressed out, we're so busy, we have so much going on, and this is the time that, you know, we can allow ourselves to take it slow. I used to do this thing where I would force myself to take a day and I would do what I would call a productive lazy day. So basically, it's kind of like exactly how you described, where you kind of have a few things on the to-do list and you still want to get a few things done so that you don't feel like a complete, you know, couch potato. But, which is fine too. If you want to be a couch potato, totally go for it. But I still have like a couple things on the, you know, maybe do laundry and cook a dinner or something like that. And but taking it very slow and not, you know, having a forced schedule or a rigid schedule and just, you know, basically being, you know, not stressed out. So this is a great time to take it slow, take advantage of this unfortunate situation and allow yourself to de-stress.
Yeah, I like that. And I think that brings us to the last point, Rose, if you want to kind of
wrap this up.
Yeah, tell us lucky number 15.
So this is number 15, and it is to stay alert, not anxious. This is a quote by, well, I think it's by a YouTuber called Dr. Mike, who's also a doctor, and he does some great videos that are quite informative about this current COVID-19 situation. So if you want to follow him, his name is Dr. Mike. He makes videos on YouTube, and he does updates on the coronavirus from trusted sources. But he says to stay informed, but try not to be anxious. So stay alert, not anxious. You know, make sure you're getting information from trusted sources and, you know, taking the advice from the professionals, and recognize that self-isolation is not necessarily a bad thing. It's actually a good thing right now, because like we've discussed, this is going to help flatten the curve, which Daniel, you know a little bit more about the curve. Right? Yeah. Can you explain the curve situation?
Well, I don't know it too well, but from my brief understanding of it, basically what the curve represents is the number of people that get diagnosed within a certain period of time. And basically there's it's like a graph. And at one point of the graph, they have kind of a dotted line, which is a region or a city's hospital capacity. And the whole idea of flattening the curve is by spreading out the way that people are being, or the number of people that are getting infected. So, you know, not 1,000 people all at once. It's like 10 people at a time so that the hospital can deal with it. It flattens out the overall impact and it stays below, this is in theory, below the threshold of what the hospitals can manage. So whereas if you don't control it and you have this massive, massive spike, it's going to go above the hospital's threshold of capacity, and they're going to get, similar to what's happening in Italy and a lot of other countries, inundated with patients that they just don't have the capacity to handle. So it's about looking at flattening that curve. So still probably similar number of people get infected, but it's spread out over a longer period of time. And the hospitals and the infrastructure are better able to cope and deal with that risk that's happening. Just a little side note as well. You know, this Dr. Mike that you're talking about, is he the one that's like the hot doctor?
Yes, he's very hot.
Oh, yeah.
Did I send you? Yeah.
there was a thing like coming up about this hot doctor, and I was like, oh, I don't think you sent it to me. This is like a while ago. So I was thinking, I wasn't sure if it was the same person, but yeah, so not only should you get informed about the COVID-19 virus, but also if you want some eye candy while you are in self-isolation, check out Dr. Mac.
Yes, he is a very good looking man, and he's a doctor. It's your type, Daniel.
Oh God, that is true. I always go for doctors.
And I think he's straight. So your type exactly.
Oh God, Rose, that is not my type. Okay. Doctors, yes. Okay. Don't paint me with that tainted brush. Okay.
Oh God damn. Well, yes, he is very good looking. So he's not bad to look at. But I mean, bless him. He looks so tired in the last video because he's also working at the hospital. So imagine how, like, thank God for these, people that are in these professions. Like, imagine.
I don't know if you guys could hear, probably not on this mic because on this, because it's good at not picking up too much background noise. But at 8 o'clock, so it's 8:07 now, at 8 o'clock, and I could hear it in the background, everyone in the city, they go on their balconies, or not everyone, but a lot of people go on their balconies and clap and cheer for all of the hospital and the professionals that are working in the, for the virus. So they're like kind of cheering them on, being like, thank you so much. Like, that kind of stuff.
Oh, is that happening right now?
Well, no, it's just finished, but I could hear it in the background.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Well, like my point exactly. It's like these people, they are literally risking potentially their lives to help people. So yeah, the least we could do is stay home. Right? Like
no, exactly. I mean, that's the minimum,
you know what I mean?
The bare minimum. And like we've discussed in this podcast, there's lots and lots of stuff that you can be doing, keeping busy. And actually, you know what? This period of self-isolation is going to fly by so fast because we're going to be so busy doing all this stuff. And we're just going to be like, wow.
I've just given you 15 things you could do. Exactly. And you could do one thing a day.
Exactly. Well, one thing that I'm going to take away from this podcast that I wasn't doing before, because a few of those things I was doing, but one of them is to start a to-do list. And I want to do that starting first thing tomorrow. When I get out of bed at around 12:30, 1 o'clock, I will... I'm kidding. I am kidding.
Yeah.
But when I get out of bed, I'm going to start writing a list, and that's going to be my little to-do list. Nothing crazy. I'm going to have take it slow, like you said as well. Point number, 14 or 13. Take it slow, but have a few kind of key things that I want to get done throughout the day, which I think will help me stay focused and sane.
God damn. And listen to this podcast. That's another little tip right there. We be putting out the extra content.
Exactly. Listen to the podcast. And don't forget to tell your friends and family if they're needing some ideas of what to do during this time. Just forward this podcast onto them, no big deal. Let them know. Say, hey, listen to Rose and Daniel. They've got some good advice and tips.
We'd be on the page. Oh, we're going to record a Patreon episode later today as well. We're going to do my crazy dating rules.
Yeah. Something fun and cheerful during this period of time. But that will be one of our many now Patreon exclusives. So we have a few other Patreon exclusives that if you do decide to go on over to Patreon, then there's a few more exclusive episodes that you can get as well.
Yeah. And a few fire tips, a few extra little tips. Number one, for me, what helps is making my bed in the morning. Daniel, maybe you want to start doing this?
Oh, God.
It takes 2 seconds. It honestly takes like less than a minute to make your bed. And the science has proven, I think, don't quote me, that you get like a dopamine hit when you achieve something in the morning. Like as soon as you get up, you've achieved something, you've cleaned something. Daniel's rolling his eyes. But that's just a little suggestion. That's something you could do so you don't feel like a potato.
Did you used to always make your bed, or you didn't in the mornings?
No, I didn't before.
Yeah,
but then I started doing it.
Well, I didn't think that you made your bed because our friend Christelle used to always be like, I don't get why you and Rose don't make your beds.
Oh, yeah. I used to not make my bed. Yeah. And then I started making it, once in a while, like maybe, once in a blue moon. And then I started doing it more frequently. Yeah. And then now I pretty much do it every day. So like there's maybe once a week that I don't. Yeah. But I've successfully made it a habit.
Wow. And do you find it makes you feel better during the day?
I mean, I'm sure it's like a very tiny little,
Yeah.
improvement, but
Yeah.
like it make you feel like you've achieved something in the morning. So I think the way that you handle the mornings, does kind of determine,
Your
a
day.
lot of your day. So
Yeah.
it does kind of make me feel a little bit more, organized. And when I see my room, I don't feel that it's clustered, like, because the
Yeah.
entire room could be clean, but if my bed is not clean, it doesn't look clean to me.
That's true.
So
That's very true.
that's the thing that makes a difference. I think it's just like a mental thing where, especially if I'm home all day, it's something that I want to be kind of like, cleaned a little bit.
Yeah.
Another little thing is try to eat healthy, if you can.
Yeah.
And, but of course also indulge. 80% healthy, 20% indulgence.
Yeah.
I've been indulging a little bit. I've been having some vegan cookies.
Ooh,
I've been baking.
goddamn.
You could also bake. That's another thing you could do.
Ooh,
Bake.
yes.
A lot of people still, a lot of people have flour, sugar, baking soda, baking powder, all those things. So
But put them to work. Use them.
yeah, I've already baked some muffins.
Ooh.
New video coming soon on more quarantine friendly recipes.
Oh goddamn! Why am I not quarantined with you, Rose? I would definitely not go hungry.
Oh my God, I would feed you so much food. There's so much food right now. So I wish you were quarantined with me. Oh my God, can you imagine? We would have so much fun.
Yeah, but then also I think towards the end of the quarantine, there might be a dead body on their hands after Rose kills me.
No, I could never kill you. We've been pretty much quarantining ourselves when we were watching Breaking Bad.
That's true. And we did that for about 5 days or 4 days.
Yeah. And like you and I were very codependent. So I think we will be
true.
fine when we're together all the time.
That's very true.
Yeah. But I was just telling my roommate, I was like, oh my God, yesterday, because I was like eating all day because I'm kind of like, a little bit bored. So I'm just eating.
Yeah.
And I told her, I was like, oh my God, after this quarantine, we're all going to come out like extra 20 pounds on us, the quarantine 20.
Yeah. The quarantine 20. Well, that's why
Oh,
you got to do these
God.
rooftop workouts and stuff, Rose. You got to keep them
Yeah.
keep going, I'm going to
Yeah.
try. But even still, I just think like I'm glad I'm doing them and I'm going to keep doing them. But like when I wasn't
Yeah.
quarantined, I was also walking like 15 to 20,000 steps a day.
100%.
So it's just crazy.
Yeah.
But, anyway, positive mindset. Keep pushing it. Keep working out. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, well, that's pretty much it, you guys. I hope this
Yeah.
kind of made up for the negativity in the last couple of
Oh,
episodes.
yeah. Oh, God.
We'll try to bring you guys something a little bit positive every episode.
Yeah.
But of course, we're human as well, so we kind of try to have conversations as they feel natural. So. Yeah, hopefully you guys got something from this. Let us know what your thoughts were on this episode in the comment section. And of course, once again, we're going to have some extra episodes on Patreon as always. So if you are interested, check us out on patreon.com/The SaVeg Podcast. And Daniel, anything else to add?
No, I think that's pretty much it. Follow us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram. And yeah, as always, comment, let us know what you thought about the episode and any other ideas or things you want us to talk about. Just fire it our way.
All right. Thank you so much, you guys.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening.
Good luck.
Bye. Yeah. Good luck. Bye.